Hello everyone, I'm very excited to be back in front of my bookshelf doing another video. If you don't know, I'm Sarah, I'm 22 years old and I love books. These are not the only kind of videos that I post on my channel, so go check out the other videos if you're interested in this video. This morning I went to Barnes & Noble, I got 6 books. So the idea is today I'm going to show you the 6 books that I got, and as of right now it is May 1st. So I am going to also tell you what my TBR list for this month is. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the first book. Okay, starting off strong, we're starting with The Inmate by Freida McFadden. I read The Housemaid by her and I really loved this book. Like, I love a good thriller mystery book, and she fell. But I really loved that book, and so I've been wanting to read more of her books. I couldn't find, I know there's a second book after this one. I couldn't find it at the store, so I got this book. I'm excited to read it. The back sounds really good. I'll read just a little bit of it. As a new nurse practitioner at a maximum security prison, Brooke Sullivan is taught 3 crucial rules. Treat all prisoners with respect, never reveal any personal information, never ever become too friendly with the inmates. But nobody knows that Brooke has already broken the rules. That's just the beginning of the back of the book. I typically don't read the back of books. I just kind of jump in, but for the sake of this video, I will let you guys know what each book is about. I'm really excited for this. This is the first book that I bought. So the second book I bought is also Freida McFadden, The Teacher. I love Ava Jules. I get a lot of my book recommendations from her. So she just read this book and she really liked it. And I usually like every single book that she ever tells me to read. I've said this on TikTok before on my book reviews, but yeah, so this was 50% off with the buying of that book. So yeah, the back of this one says, Eve has a good life. She gets up each day, gets a kiss from her husband, and heads off to teach math at the local high school. All is as it should be, except... And that's all I'm going to read to you. If you want to figure out the rest, read the book. Yeah, I'm really excited for this book as well, because like I said, I've heard this is good from honestly multiple people, not even just Ava. I'm talking really fast in this video and I just can't seem to get my words out right, but this might make it onto my TBR for this month. Evie wanted to say hi to everybody. You say hi? Okay, back to the books. Okay, I'm actually so excited for the next 2 because this book caught my eye. It was in the front of the store, another 50% off, but it's a fantasy novel. So I have my thrillers, now I have my fantasy. So I'll read you just a little bit of the back again. Galaxy Stern is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. Raised in the Los Angeles hinterlands by a hippie mom, Alex dropped out of school early and into a world of shady drug dealer boyfriends, dead-end jobs, and much, much worse. In fact, by age 20, she is the sole survivor of a horrific unsolved multiple homicide. Some might say she's thrown her life away, but at her hospital bedside, Alex is offered a second chance to attend one of the world's most prestigious universities on a full ride. What's the catch and why her? This just honestly really caught my eye because I did read the back. And it seems like it's going to be a really good book. I loved the cover as well with like this snake running through the title. I thought that was really cool. So I'm excited to read this. It sounds kind of like a thriller and fantasy book mixed together, which I'm excited for because obviously like I have my Harry Potter books down here. I love Harry Potter. And then I have Divergent, I have Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, Lord of the Rings, Twilight, and then the ACOTAR series. So I have been slowly getting into fantasy books, and so I thought this would just be cool to pick up because I usually just go for romance or thrillers, which is like my top 2 that I usually go for. So okay, yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but I literally had to like lay on top of that. Okay, it's fine. Someday I'm gonna have a home library, and that is the goal, and that is why I keep all these books. and I will not get rid of any of them. Okay, next. So I actually want to show you a picture before I go into this next book. I was astonished to see a large group of books that have been banned in Georgia, which is where I live, along with the fact that Texas has banned something like 432, I think. I'm going to put the picture up here. It blew my mind. Among the books that are banned are... You guys know how I feel about this book. You know how I feel about this book. You know that I love this book. You know this book is like my child. It's banned in Georgia. It's banned in Georgia. This book, banned in Georgia. You know why? Because it talks about abuse. I don't know that for sure. That's what I'm assuming, but I don't know. I feel like it's important to read. It's important to learn about things that happened in history. And obviously, It Ends With Us is not a historical book, but for some people can relate to that. And I think that it's important to learn about these topics and know that these things happen. I don't think it's right to shield people from these things. Hunger Games is banned. The Hate U Give, I believe that's the title, is banned. What else was banned? How to Kill a Mockingbird is banned. I took another picture with a bunch of the banned books. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. There were a couple more that I was just like, what are the color purple? Anyway, I bought a banned book, just to spite everybody. Oh, that's not the banned book. This is the banned book. I bought The Handmaid's Tale. I finished the series on Hulu. Scary. It's scary how close we're getting to this. So I bought it. There's another one after this, that's The Testaments. So I'm intrigued by that. So yeah, here it is down here. The Testaments. I'll read the back of this book, but I assume most people kind of know what The Handmaid's Tale is about. In Margaret Atwood's dystopian future, environmental disasters and declining birth rates have led to a second American Civil War. The result is the rise of the Republic of Gilead, a totalitarian regime that enforces rigid social roles and enslaves the few remaining fertile women. Offered as one of these, a handmaid bound to produce children for one of Gilead's commanders, deprived of her husband, her child, her freedom, and even her own name, Offred clings to her memories and her will to survive. At once a scathing satire, an ominous warning, and a tour de force of narrative suspense. The Handmaid's Tale is a modern classic. Okay, I squeezed in The Handmaid's Tale on top of these books, and we're gonna get into the last two. I can't decide which one I want to show last. Just decided. The next book I got is 1,000 Heartbeats by Kiera Cass. I know I'm 22. The Selection series probably is not like for me. It's definitely probably for like middle school, high school age girls, but I want to read it so bad because I always wanted to read it as a kid, and I got the first book. I never read any of the ones after that, so I really want to read that series, but this is also by that author. It's a bigger book. I think it's the biggest that I got today, at 565 pages, but it seems like a pretty easy read. It's kind of large type, but it looks good. It sounds good. I saw this at Target a long time ago. The back reads, I told myself that it had been the rain, it was something hitting the mountain, or a tree falling, or anything else really, but every time Lennox smiled or touched me, or even looked at me a certain way, I would hear it again, the sound of 1,000 heartbeats. And honestly, anytime you use the title of the book in the back, I'm gonna read it. And also, look at the cover is so pretty. Now, last book. Let's get serious, guys. My mom just recently went to Amsterdam, and she brought me back this. If you don't know what this is Anne Frank's diary. This was the actual print of her diary. It was like a red with kind of gray, green, white plaid. And then here's the actual book itself. This destroyed me. This really is heartbreaking, and I think this is something so important that people for generations to come will still read and should read and need to read. And it just, I want to learn more on the subject, you know? I feel like a lot of the things that we're taught in school about this stuff is not enough. I don't think that when we're taught about it, we fully realize what happened, like the terrible things that happened and what people were put through. So I found a book in the store today. It was sitting on one of the like tables that they have out at Barnes & Noble, and I just decided that I had to read it. I need to know more. This is firsthand. This is also firsthand. This is Heather Morris, who met Lael Sokolov. I know I'm saying that wrong and I'm sorry. And he told her his story of his life during the Holocaust as a tattooist at Auschwitz. So, yeah, I don't even know what to say about this book other than, oh, there's Evie again. I am just eager to know more. I'm eager to know more about the things that went on and what really happened inside. Yes, this is the last book that I bought today. And now let's get on to what I'm reading this month. Okay, and now on to my TBR for May. The first book is Through My Eyes by Ruby Bridges. This is very short. I'll probably finish this today, honestly. On November 14th, 1960, a tiny 6-year-old black child surrounded by federal marshals walked through a mob of screaming segregationists and into her school from where she sat in the office. Ruby Bridges could see parents marching through the halls and taking their children out of classrooms. So this is a story of a real woman who was going to elementary school and where was it? Did it say where it was? Okay, so I'm not quite sure where it was. But this is the story of, I mean, look at these pictures. I like to read one historical book like this a month, at least one. So yes, this is the first book I'll be reading. I'm starting this and probably finishing this today. Next, we're gonna head into a classic with The Great Gatsby. I've never read this. Surprising, I know. I feel like everyone read this in high school and I never did. So this is kind of short, so I feel like it'll be an easy read. But I do want to read a classic. I haven't read a classic in a long time. So that will be my second read of the month. Then we have 4 more. I'm feeling hopeful this month that I can get these done. Next, we're just gonna go straight into The Handmaid's Tale. I'm excited. This is my kind of fantasy book of the month. I just know it's gonna be insane to read. I feel like there's gonna be so much more detail than in the show, maybe, because that's just how books are. But then I'm gonna do a hardback. I do like these weird rules for myself, like 1 historical book at least, 1 classic, 1 romance, 1 fantasy, 1 thriller, and then I try to throw a hardback into there. So I have the hardback version of Where the Crawdads Sing, which I'm gonna try to have be my next book after that. This movie was amazing to me. And I did not see the plot twist coming. Did not see the end coming at all. I really didn't. So we're gonna read this book after we read The Handmaid's Tale. And then next on my list will be my thriller, which is, can you guess? Which one of the 2 books don't you see up there? It's The Teacher. Just because I have to spice things up. That could technically be considered a mystery. But this is my thriller of the month. And then last but definitely not least, we have Cleopatra's Daughter. The back of this book just sounds so interesting. The marriage of Mark Antony and Cleopatra is one of the greatest love stories of all time. Feared and hunted by the powers in Rome, the lovers choose to die by their own hands as the triumphant armies of Antony's rival Octavian sweep into Egypt. Those are the 6 books that I will be reading this month, and we're just gonna go and get started with this book right now. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment down below your May TBR or the book you're currently reading, or if you read any of the books that I showed today and you like them or don't. If you want to a video of like a tour of my bookshelves, because I have more over there and more out in my living room, let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to do like a deep dive into every book I own. I think that would be really fun. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a really exciting video. So bye.